Welcome to Keep Painting Those Miniatures. Today I'm painting Seamus, the last model from the crew box Shadows of Redchapel. I did make up a custom base for Seamus as well. Essentially, yes, again, plumber's epoxy to create tombstones and then wall putty to put it into the base. I created a large tombstone for him and did manage to scratch a few things into it, so it has got some faint, sort of interesting things in it. I first primed the base with Vallejo Primer Black and then used an airbrush to paint Minotaur bark all over the dirt. I followed that up with Vallejo Game Color Somber Grey dry brush on the tombstone, and finally a light dry brush of Reaper Concrete Grey. I also used a little bit of Army Painter Ink Green just to weather it down a little bit, and I think it turned out quite well. Seamus was primed with Vallejo Primer Black. I airbrushed a few things on him. First I airbrushed his coat with Minotaur bark. Then I airbrushed his pants with Minotaur base grey. I wanted his hat to stand out in sort of contrast to the model, so I went with Minotaur Lagoon Blue, again airbrushing. As normal for this set, I painted his skin with Reaper Caucasian Flesh. I painted his cravat, that's the thing under his sort of chin, and the ribbon on his hat with Reaper Brilliant Red. I originally painted his hair with Reaper Fireball Orange, but I felt it was very weak, and I sort of planned later on to paint over it with something a bit stronger. I painted his boots with Reaper Golden Brown. I wanted it to be different to his coat, essentially. As usual for my models, I do a round of cleanup, making sure the lines are good, and this was no different. I painted his gun and the belt buckles. There's a few. There's also a small watch and the buckle on his hat. I did all those with Army Painter gun metal. And another round of cleanup. Like with Copycat, I wanted to basically create contrast on the model, and I used P3 Menoth White Highlight as a dry brush and tried to create accent details, and it really worked with this guy. I inked his skin and his coat and his pants very lightly with Army Painter Ink Dark Tone. I inked his boots with Army Painter Ink Green. I was hoping to make them, well, different to the rest of his clothing. I also inked his hair with Army Painter Ink Soft Tone. It didn't work out, and I was going to paint over it. I was so annoyed with the hair, I finally decided to change it, and it was Citadel Blazing Orange I used, and it came out wonderfully. That's a really good colour. After this long journey, I was able to glue him onto his base. The only problem was I misjudged the angle of the base. So again, I had to pack it out a little bit with blue tack just to make it look normal. And I also moved him a bit further back on the base so that he wasn't like at about 70 degrees. After the moving around on the base, I had to do some cleanup, and I used Minotaur bark to do that. Wasn't too bad. I really enjoy this guy. He looks creepy with a distinct Irish sort of character. I wanted him to be, you know, original, and that's what I went for. Keep painting those miniatures, people.